And this puppy fires off like there ain't no tomorrow. One thing about these carbureted trucks, if they're tuned right, you're getting good spark, they will start faster than a U62 or any other fuel injected truck. Bam, baby. Great sounding truck. Ton of compression in it. It has 210 pounds of compression. And I see upwards of 250 out of them. So really a valve adjustment on this truck, you'd probably bring it back up to 240, 250, somewhere in there maybe. So anywho's, that's the Mitsubishi that we just put back on the farm and got our wheels rolling. Hey, welcome back in Mini Truckers and Truckettes. We have a mini truck here, had a no spark issue. It is a 1996 or 97 U42T Mitsubishi Minicab. It was a process to figure out what was going on with it. It was something extremely simple, but you wouldn't have thought it was causing the issue. And it didn't cause the issue for quite some time, so it's pretty strange of an issue. So the customer that owns the truck, they'd been messing with it for quite some time. The truck's been setting up for a while, and they lost spark, couldn't get it back. They ordered a reman distributor from Japan with all the new ICM and pickup coil and all that stuff in it, and still no spark. Well, on a Mitsubishi, if the distributor isn't in time right, you could very well not get spark from that. Like it could be 180 degrees out and it's not going to spark at all. Where some of the other ones will still spark when they're 180 out, but this is one of the ones that will not give you any spark if the distributor is 180 out. So what we had to do was pull the timing cover, pull the plug on number one, make sure everything was in time, put that distributor back on, and we were starting to get some spark, and it was intermittent. Now, they'd also replaced the coil, and I ended up using the old coil, and it puts out some juice, let me tell you. So yeah, and in the middle of this whole thing of cranking it over, trying to get diagnosed, do we have spark? Oh, no, yes, no. The starter went out. So I don't know if you can see, but behind me, I've got a Bravo van. It uses the same starter. So we just luckily swapped the starter out, put my starter on it, cranked it over, trying to find the reason why we're not getting spark out of this thing. We chased wires, continuity tests on just about everything. I even took the ignition switch out of this truck and swapped it with my van to see if it was an ignition switch problem, because sometimes you'll have an ignition switch go faulty and not give you the signal to put out spark. So no, it was good, didn't have any issues there. I searched and searched to see if some of these trucks have ECMs in them, or ECU, I guess, whatever. Couldn't find any of that, so I know it's all mechanical. But what I did find was when we did finally get the spark back, when we plugged the fuel pump back in, we lose spark. Now, there was process in between plugging the fuel pump in and, testing spark again to go start the truck up. So at first we wasn't thinking about the fuel pump being the issue. So these trucks have a 3-wire pin that brings a communication from the coil to the fuel pump, and it's all tied in together with the distributor. And if you replace that fuel pump with a 2-wire fuel pump, you know, just an aftermarket setup, you don't need that third wire. You just need a positive and negative. And they had a third one hooked up to, I believe, the power. Yeah, it was hooked into the power. So when we plugged the fuel pump in, it was killing our spark. And because it's hooked into the power, I'm guessing that's what made the original ICM in that distributor malfunction. It doesn't take much. I mean, you can hook those things up backwards and fry them. So they're very sensitive to that. So come on in here, put your beepers down on it, and you can see what we went through and what we did in order to get spark back on this truck. So I guess you can come in. Don't be shy. I don't bite too hard. Let's see where we're at here. So here's our aftermarket fuel pump. As you can see, we got your positive and negative, and this blue wire was hooked into the power, and I just snipped it off. As you can see, it's a 3-pin. This white, is it the white? Yeah, this white wire actually goes all the way over to the coil, and that's going to cause it to short out the ICM in the distributor. So we swapped the cap on it. He still had the original cap. We went ahead and swapped the cap on it. In the middle of all this, I don't know, did I explain that? In the middle of all of this, we had lost the starter. The starter had way too many miles on it, doing the whole crank no start thing, and well, it went out. So that was nice. We had to swap it out with my van sitting over yonder. Got my starter on there and finished the job. So that's pretty much the biggest thing, is when you do your fuel pumps, make sure if you're only running a 2-wire fuel pump, only hook up 2 wires. You don't need the third one. I mean, what this does is tell the fuel pump if the engine's running or not. So I think that's really all that it does. While we were in here, you can see that it has a fresh oil filter on it. Did a complete oil service on it, front diff, rear diff, transmission, engine, all that good stuff. And there's something else I want to show you that is kind of a no-no. So he put an aftermarket air intake. He took the original air box off of it. This runs all the way over to the exhaust cover over there, and all that does is give you warm air to help the carburetor warm up a little bit better in the wintertime. But what had happened, what he had rigged up, and I'm going to explain it to him better, is when you want to hook up an air intake kind of like this and get rid of that factory box, don't do anything like that. Have a port in between your filter and your carburetor, because that's going to suck and leak air. Hence, it's going to get a lot of dirt sucked up to the engine, and that's not something that you want to do. This one is off the road a lot, and as you can see, it's pretty dusty under there. So sucking air in one of these engines, or any engine at that matter, it's not something that you want to get into, because it's going to dust your valves and cause you all kinds of issues. But she's done. She's done, ready for pickup. It's actually a pretty sweet little truck. It being that is a light duty dump, which is fine. He hauls wood with it, and it does everything he needs it to do. He took the bed sides off of it just for me, so it was nice of him. Put him a nice little trailer hitch on the back of it. I think that's like a universal reese hitch or something. Pretty slick. So I mean, it's a nice little farm truck. This truck is actually, it's got some nice options. It's got the dump truck, right? Dump bed on it. And it also has air conditioning, if you didn't notice the AC pump down there. It does have a 4-speed in it, though. I would still have this truck because it has air conditioning, even though it's a 4-speed. As you can see, she has a little rust on her. She's got some holes in her, but it's okay. It's not a bring it to cars and coffee truck. It's a work truck, so it's going to do what he needs it to do. He put a Jeep bumper on the front of it. Very nice little truck for doing with what he does with it. So I guess this is pretty much going to include, everything that was wrong. And it might give you guys a little insight when you're hooking up your fuel pump that it can fry out your ICM inside your distributor, because it sure did on this one twice. And yeah, that's a headache. One wire caused a huge headache and quite a bit of money for one wire. And this puppy fires off like there ain't no tomorrow. One thing about these carbureted trucks, if they're tuned right, you're getting good spark, they will start faster than a U62 or any other fuel injected truck. Bam, baby. Great sounding truck. Ton of compression in it. It has 210 pounds of compression. And I see upwards of 250 out of them. So really a valve adjustment on this truck, you'd probably bring it back up to 240, 250, somewhere in there maybe. So anywho's, that's the Mitsubishi that we just put back on the farm and got our wheels rolling. So I appreciate you all very, very much for tuning in, checking us out on these videos, keeping them playing, really helping our channel grow. We've reached a couple of goals on our YouTube channel, so I appreciate every one of you, because we couldn't have done it without you. I guess it's really going to include what we had to do on this U42. A very simple but hair pulling process. You'll have that sometimes, I guess. So I guess that'll include our video today. If you guys need any work done to your truck, you guys need any help with problem solving, you can always reach out to us. We're here for you, and we're here for your mini truck. So this is a little niche that we like and we love doing. So anyway, new fillers and failettes, keep your mini truck wheels rolling, mini trucks trucking, dump beds the dumping, and we will see you all on the next one.